Hi, you're very welcome. And in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about creating charts in Excel. Okay. So the first thing that you should do is basically make sure your data is set up in something like this. Try and kind of get it all together if possible. And the second thing I'm going to do is recommend that you use a recommended charts. Now, you can either select your data by highlighting it like so, or another little trick you can use is that if you do Control Shift and 8, that selects what they call the region. I then come up here to Insert, up here, and then I come over here and I go to Recommended Charts. Right. Now, if you notice here on the charts ribbon, you've got a lot of other ones, right? But really, particularly if you're new to this, you're better off starting with Recommended Charts. So I click on Recommended Charts, and there we go. Happy with that one. And click OK. And hey presto, there's my chart done there. Now, the second thing I want to look at is how you would change the different elements of this chart. So for example, if I want to change the chart titles, I can go in here and go, let's say, sales by quarter and territory. Right. And then I click back on it again. And then what I'm looking for then is I'm looking for this one here. Right. So for example, if I click on the plus, I get the different elements and I can customize each of these. And again, it's kind of worth experimenting with them. That is a bit of a hailstorm, so I wouldn't bother with that one. You need to show the numbers. A data table is often a good fit. Do you want to add grid lines? Click here, and it's like if I rest, notice here, if I rest my mouse on each of them, it tells you what it looks like. And there's other options there. So that's the first thing, just to customize the different elements. The second thing you want to look at, if you want to change the color, is to go here to the little paintbrush, and then you see here you have a number of different styles which you can try out. That's what I call the heavy on the toner one. Send that one to the printer, it'll suck up all the toner in it. That one there. So you can choose one of the styles here. I'm going to stick with the original one. And then if you want to change the color, click here. Also, click on these ones here, for example. Now, just to bear in mind as well that while I'm using the three options here, you can also get the same effects if you go up here, for example, to chart design. You can get another options here. There's your chart styles and change colors and so on. Okay. So this one here, you change the coloring, edit some of the individual items, and then basically your chart is good to go. Okay. Now the second thing I want to look at is, and if you want to delete it, just click on it and press the delete key. Okay. Now what I want to just look at now is, let's say for example you only wanted to graph, maybe the sales territory up here, and let's say maybe these two. I didn't want to graph the whole lot. So in that case, what you need to do is you begin by highlighting this bit here, and then you hold down the Control key, and you need to press the Control key down, and then highlight the second to use a mouthful non-contiguous range. I then come up here to Insert, and I choose Recommended Charts. Now I've noticed that when I use the Control key with Recommended Charts, yeah, it works now, but it doesn't always work. All right, I might just choose a different chart this time. Let's say a nice bar chart, and then click OK. And if, for example, let's say I want to change this here, again, you can click on it, and if I do a right click, see, for example, there, let's say I can go, let's say, format the axis. And I might say I'm going to change the number and just maybe make it just a general number and no decimal places. All right, so I can just use that to, all right, so this one here, and again, I might just try it again, right click, format the axis, maybe choose the number, and see there I can use these ones here if I want to. All right, so I'm just going to leave that as is, chart title, and again I can amend it. So use the Control key if you want to select what they call the non-contiguous ranges. Now, a third scenario I might have would be, for example, if I come down here to this one, And let's say I've just graphed this bit. Now, if you notice here, I've left a blank space in the corner. And this can be really useful sometimes, if, for example, if you've years in your headings, Excel will sometimes pick those up as numbers as opposed to labels. So if I click here on this one, and then I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm just going to choose Recommended Charts again. And this time, let's say I'm just going to choose maybe a bar chart and then click OK. And then I realize, close down this, and then I realize, oops, I should have included the fourth quarter. So if you notice here at the moment, it's saying that there's my first quarter, third quarter, and so on. And then if I come down here to the corner, and if I just drag this across, you see that it will then include the fourth quarter in it. Right? And I can then show the data as is. Okay, so one of the things I notice here is that my quarters are actually from fourth quarter to first quarter. And generally, I would prefer to do them in the reverse order. So I begin by highlighting the data, and then I do a right click over here, and I choose Format Axis, and then I choose this option up here, this one up here, the Axis option, and then down here I choose this one which says Categories in reverse order. Right? You can see now it's kind of coming out as your first quarter, second quarter, and so on. And if I want to, I could remove this if I wanted to. And for this one, let's say I could, let's just see, if I add data labels, or maybe even just a data table, can sometimes be a little bit clearer. All right. So I hope you found this useful, and mind yourself and take care. Bye.